Man, I can't even begin to tell you how good this software is for retirement planning. It's now I'm starting to figure it out. I'm just freaking blown away. So this is Craig Israelson's Retirement Analyzer Portfolio Rap, R-A-P, because we like to hip hop, rap the night away, rap. And look, I'm just in the morning, haven't brushed my teeth, haven't shaved, haven't showered, haven't done nothing, just working on my book, and just I gotta do this video, man. It just comes to me, and I gotta do it because this is fantastic. So I was having a hard time with the software. And look, I'm just a caveman, so it took me a long time to figure this out. So you'll probably get a hell of a lot quicker than I did. But I was having a hard time, and this is the software right here. I'll tell you how you get it, by the way. So we're going to go to portfolio data down. And I'm using Google Sheets, by the way. Get the, hold on a second. I'm sure it's even better if you do Microsoft Excel, but I don't pay for that. So anyway, so what we're doing here is I'm telling the software, look, I'm going to have 25% large caps, 25% small, 25% U.S. bonds, 25% cash, and it's going to be rebalanced annually, all right? And I'm not paying any fees. And why don't I pay fees? Because the fees are already part of the portfolio. I mean, we're talking 4 basis points on these ETFs and whatnot. The raw data is without fees. We could add 4, it's fine. I mean, if you're going to, it's probably not a bad idea to do 25 basis points in here if you want. I don't care how you do it. But anyway, you can put whatever fees you want. The raw data, the index, has no fees. Now, your ETFs, most likely to be Vanguard or Fidelity or something like that, with very, very low fees. Now, if you have a mutual fund like Wellington Fund or something like that, you probably want to add 33 basis points. But Wellington Fund you can't use in here. It's just you're simply doing the raw data of the index. So if you want to add your fee in here, you can. That's fine. I'm not, just for simplicity, because, again, I'm using ETFs, which mimic the index. And like I said, 3 to 4 basis points, just I'm not going to put in there. But you could. And I mean, maybe I will. I don't know. But right now, so basically what I'm doing here is I got million schmackaroonies. All right, we're going to retire for 25 years. So I'm 65. I'm going to live until I'm 90. I'm not adjusting my returns at all. I'm just going to use the old-fashioned rates of returns for simple. You can adjust it, dude. You can do it. It's insane all the stuff you can do in here. So what I did is you got to put a 0 in this cell here. And again, if you get this offer through Craig, he'll walk you through and all that stuff. Now, not him specifically. He might. I mean, he'll it just. I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth. He might. I don't know. But if you get this offer through Craig, pretty easy to access this guy. So I'm saying I want my first withdrawal to be $70,000. That's 7% of my million schmackaroonies. Again, I got a 50% stocks, 50% cash portfolio. Historically, that's given me an 8.25% rate of return. The standard deviation 12.24. It's freaking fantastic. There's a raw data right there. All right, so now I'm telling the software, hey, I want to have a 5% increase each and every year on my $70,000. Unless the markets drop by 5%. If the markets drop by 5%, unless the markets drop by 0, unless the markets go in the negative. If the markets go in the negative, I want to decrease my spending by 5%. All right. So I just want to reiterate this. Every year, I'm going to increase my spending by 5%. I'm starting with $70,000 at 7%. Every year, I'm going to increase my spending by 5%. If the markets are negative, any year the markets are negative, I'm going to decrease my spending by 5%. Everybody with me on that? All right, so you can see 5%. If the markets are up, I'm increasing my spending by 5%. If the markets are down, I'm decreasing my spending by 5%. Everybody with me on that so far? Hope so. And what you'll see here is you'll see 77% of the time I did not run out of money. 70% of the time I did not run out of money. 47%, the account balance was larger than it was when I started. So basically 1 and 2 times my account balance was higher than when I started. My average retirement balances after 25 years is 1.346 million. All right, that's freaking fantastic. My average monthly withdrawal was 87.22. Not too shabby. How often do withdrawals increase year over year? 78%. And they kept up with inflation, 47.5. Now remember, I'm only using a 5% increase anyway. So inherently, if we have inflation above 5, I will not increase with that. And then if we have a market that goes down, I will not increase with inflation. So I'm already kind of handcuffed myself to some regard, but that doesn't matter because I'm starting out with $70,000. All right, so I want to show you how this works. We're going to go to detailed analysis. This is freaking, there's so much. I love this thing right here. All right, so what you're going to see here is, this is fantastic. So this is from 1926 to 1950, all right, 25 years. The green is my income increased by 5%. So I went from 70,000 to whatever 5% of 70,000 is, $3,500, something like that. And then it went another 5%. Then it went another 5%. The red is when it went down by 5%. So you can see in 1926, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, it went down by 5%. Oh, guess what else was happening during these times? Was deflation. So that didn't really, not a big deal. Then it was up. Oh, wait, 1930, let's see, 1926, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. Interesting. So 37, the markets were down by, what was it, more than what went down. And again, the market being my entirety of my portfolio of 25% in each of those 4 buckets. All right, so you can see my average increase was 1.8% because I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times I had a decrease in my spending. But those 8 times were dwarfed by the 17 times I had an increase in my spending. So my average COLA was 1.8. I hope that makes sense. Now we're going to scroll over here because this is what I found interesting. So we're going to come over here to 1974. All right, 1974 to 2000, and let's see here, right there, 1974 to 1998. And the one thing I noticed is, why has it only got 1 time right here? That was in 1974. So the markets were down in 1974, but the markets were also down in 77 or 78, I can't remember. But not the whole market. So that's why I was like, well, wait a sec. We're missing 1977, I can't remember which one it was. Actually, we'll just go to Daniel Colbert's thing. We can pull it up right here to see when the markets was down. 1970, right there. 1977, the S&P 500 was down. All right, so, but not, hold on a second. My portfolio wasn't down in 1977 because I got 25% cash, 25% bonds, 25% small caps, and 25% of the S&P 500. Very interesting. I think this is 1990 right here. So in this time, only twice did I reduce my spending. The first year out the gate. Now this is when inflation was high. So unlike the 1930s, this was a big deal. I've reduced my spending plus the inflation was high. And then I think this is 1990. That's it. So my average increase was 4.2%. My average increase in spending was 4.2. Not too shabby, because if you retired in 1974, you're in a wonderful place. If you retired in 1973, you're in a world of hurt for sure. But even that, look at this, 1970, 1960, 1969. Look right here, 1966. So what's happening here is we're telling the software, hey, reduce our spending when the portfolio is negative. It's just that simple. Now check this out. We'll go to another graph here. Watch. So I can come up here. Let's pause it. My favorite graph of all, you can see that when we ran out of money, basically 1, 2, I can't really see what that says, but you can zoom it in if you want. Yeah, 1926, 27, 28, 29, and 1930, we ran out of money. Then in 1937 as well, 1946, 47, 1969, and that's it, because right here, 1969, 1992 to 2016, 1992. So those are the times we ran out of money. Even right here, we didn't run out of money. I just find that interesting. So even in the 60s, we didn't run out of money. In fact, we died. The portfolio balance when we died was 1.6 million if we retired in 1961. Even if we retired in 1966, our portfolio balance by 1990 was 1.3 million, above what we started off. Isn't that crazy? I find that very interesting. So I love this chart too. And by the way, these are how much you had left after 5 years. So right here, if you retired in 1939, you're down to $500,000 after 5 years. All right, so 1939. But if you retired in 1939, you didn't run out of money. Isn't that crazy? If you retired in 1939, you did not run out of money, even though after 5 years, your portfolio is down by half. Crazy. Right here, if you retired in 1928, your average balance after 5 years was $784,000, but you ran out of money. Very interesting. Anyway, I love that stuff. All right, so you're going to see right here, the average overall withdrawal was $104,000 a year. The average. The lowest was $65,000. Obviously that'd be when you ran out of money. The average to keep up with inflation was 116. So we're starting with 70. This is with a 7% distribution rate, increasing it each and every year at a 5% clip. If the markets go up, isn't that crazy? And you just got all these charts right here. Check this out. So you can see the smallest right here So we started with 70,000. Because we're getting hit, we're down to 66. We're getting hit 63, 60. You see what I'm saying? And then we finally ran out of money in year 16. That's the smallest. That's the worst. The average, though, and again, 22% of the time we didn't run out of money. 22% of the time we ran out of money. 77% of the time we didn't run out of money. The average, though, look, increase. And this is with serious negative, markets and all that. And then, of course, if we have the highs, the highest is fine, but we don't want that. We want the lowest. Portfolio balance by age 90, the average is 1.3, which is more than we started with. I just find that to be incredible. All right, so I want to keep going back here. So the smallest balance is like, oh man, we ran out of money. All right, so let's keep going. I want to show you some other things and all kinds of stuff here. Progression of annual withdrawal rates. You can see right here. Right here is when we ran out of money. Right there, we ran out of money. Right there, again, 22% of the time we did. End of year rolling balance after each 25-year period. I love that. 25 portfolio returns after fees. So if you retired in 1959, your portfolio averaged 9.5%. If you retired in 1988, your portfolio averaged 8. If you retired in 1998, your portfolio averaged 5.6 because the odds. If you retired in 1929, your portfolio averaged 5.8. I just love this chart right here. I think it's fantastic. All right, so let's try something else here. I haven't done this yet, so I'm going to do it on the fly. I just find it to be very, very interesting. And again, there's so many different charts in there. You just go crazy if you want. And you should go crazy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say, instead of giving us a 5% COLA, let's give us a 2% COLA. If the portfolio is up, let's give us a 2% COLA. Again, we're starting with $70,000 a year. And we're going to say, if the market goes, our portfolio, not the market, our portfolio goes down, we're going to reduce our portfolio, reduce our spending by 5% until it goes back up. So again, in 19, 29, 30, 31, 32, you're going to spend 70,000 minus 5%, then minus another 5%, then minus another 5%, then minus another 5%. And then in 1933, you'll be increasing your spending by 2%. Again, but we're starting with 70,000 a year, not 4%. And so our average increase here is 0.71. Right? So we're still starting out with a huge amount of money, well above the 4 and well above my typical 5%. We're saying, look, if the market performs, we're going to increase our spending by 2%. How many times? Now we're only 4.1% of the time did we run out of money. You're going to tell, and then the average we're leaving is 2.8%. You're going to tell me, oh no, that's still not good. I need that to be 100%. Look at this. Our average year end of withdrawal was $76,000. To keep up with inflation would be 114, but to keep up with inflation means you're starting at $70,000 a year, and it's growing at an average inflation rate of whatever it is. I think it was 5% or something. I forgot. Anyway, whatever it is. You can see here. So we're not keeping up with inflation, but we're not trying to keep up with inflation. We're trying to spend more on the front end of our retirement and try to do it in such a diligent way that we don't end up killing ourselves by having no money at the end. So let's go back to this chart right here, this one I love. So right here, again, it's the same thing, but increasing our spending by 2% every single time, but we're decreasing our spending by 5%. And we can do this until we're blue in the face. We're going to say, look, man, we're going to decrease our spending. If the market goes down, instead of decreasing by 5, we'll decrease it by 2%. Watch what happens here. Now we're at 95.9 again, 86.5. All right, so because we're not decreasing it by enough. Well, if we decrease it by 2, but we increase it by 5. If the markets go up, we increase it by 5, but we decrease it by 2. Now imagine this be lower. Yeah, that's 37.8. That doesn't look so good. But we can go over here and we can say, oh man, look, we're decreasing it by 2, but we're increasing it by 5. And we're starting out with 70,000 a year anyway. And it's just this, and again, this is, you can actually, and look, you can do this. And I don't get paid off this guy. But if he uses, if you sign up, if you email Craig, I'll show you how to do it. You can say, look, what if let's go back to 5 and 5 just for simplicity. Blank 5 and 5. If we decrease, we got to do, excuse me. Oh, I screwed that up. You got to do negative here. That's what I meant to do. Negative. That's what I meant to do. Negative. So if you do negative, that's what we're trying to say here. Negative. Before I said 5. And of course, if you do 5%, you're going to be in a world of hurt here because you're like, when the markets go down, I'm increasing by 5%. That's not what we want to do. We want to go negative 5. I did actually negative 2 is what I wanted to do, and 5 right there. So our average CPI is 3.71, and still 63% of the time we have money when we're dead. And that's with a negative 2% decline when the markets go down, and a 5% increase when the markets go up, with a 7% starting out rate. right, so now we're going to reduce this by 200 basis points. I think I got to go to negative 200 if memory serves. Should say reduced over reduction. Negative 200. And we'll just leave we'll go negative 100 on the bonds and leave the cash as is. Someone jumped around up there. There we go. All right, sweet. There we go. So here's, even there, it's 33.8. I mean, that's not, I mean, look, that's bad. I'm not saying you should do that, but here we're reducing our portfolio expenditures by 2% a year if the markets go down. If the markets are up, we're increasing it by 5% a year. We're starting at 7%, and we still got an average rate of return here, 7% with a standard deviation of 12.24, as opposed to what it was before is 8.54. And even here, so let's just go back to this detailed analysis. I mean, this is just freaking, look at this. You can see it right here. And just look right here. Look at all the negatives. Woo, Nelly. Why is there so many more negatives? Because I reduced our rate of return. Let's go to we looked at 1974 before. Let's go to 1974, right there. So 1974, we got 1974, I'm assuming that's, I don't know what that is. 1990, 1994, 1999, I imagine. That's what that would be, I presume. No, it's not 1999. That'd be 1994, 1990, 1987, I assume. But you can see we have more because we're reducing our portfolio. Our portfolio isn't the same portfolio as what it was before. And so our portfolio here is only giving us, 7% rate of return. I think it's over here. Yeah, right here. So right here. So we're giving ourselves a median portfolio return after fee of 7.65, but our annualized is 7%. Anyway, so how you get this? You go 712 portfolio, find out contact. Where's the contact thing here? And you just email Craig, contact us right there. That's Craig right there, and saying Josh sent you. And it's great. I love it, dude. I can see it. Literally, I can see her all day do this. It's fun. All right. God bless. Love to your thoughts.